What I want to do now is to be able to generate a token. So whenever someone comes into the application, they're going to need to provide their username and their password. And I want to have a factory or a utility or a provider that I can call upon success when they're trying to log in. Once the login is successful, I can then pass them this token that I need to generate. But I need to be able to generate it on the application so that the application can sign it, and that way whenever later they send another request with that same token, I can verify the token and process the request. So we need to create a factory that can generate this token for us so that we can give it to a user once they've logged in successfully. Now, before I go into the factory, I'm gonna go ahead and create a very simple class that's gonna be a constant class, and I'm gonna define some constant that I know I'm gonna need to for the provider of the token or the utility or whatever you might call it. They usually call classes like this a utility class or a provider or something like that. So let's go ahead and define a new package. Let's go new. And then package, I'm just gonna call this constant. Okay, and then in the constant package, I can go ahead and create the class. So I need a security constant class, and in here I just want to define some constant, and you'll understand as soon as I start typing. So the first one, I need the expiration time that I'm gonna set on the actual token. So public static final, and that's gonna be of type long, and let's do expiration time, and I'm gonna set this to 5 days, and that really depends on your specific company requirements. So this is gonna vary for every company. It depends on whatever they want to do. So let me just put a quick comment here. So yeah, whatever they want to do, if they want it for 24 hours, they can do that. Whatever time they want, depending on what security risk that they're trying to mitigate or whatever the case might be. So that's something that you're gonna have to sit down with someone and say, hey, some security architect or something like that, and ask them exactly, for this and this and this and that reason, what should be the time, the expiration time on the token, because that's like one of the key security aspect of the token. The token has to expire. If it doesn't expire, the user can actually use that token indefinitely, and you can already see how this is like a big security problem, because you can use something indefinitely. That's definitely not good. So we need to set an expiration time on it, and that's gonna come down to whatever company policies that you have in terms of security or whatever. So I'm gonna have 5 days, and that's gonna be expressed in milliseconds. So I did Google that, so I don't want you to think that, I know this by off the top of my head. It's 432 a million. And since I think Java 7 or something, you can actually put underscore so that for readability. So 432 million milliseconds is 5 days. So that's the first constant that I'm gonna need. The second one, public static final, and that's gonna be a string, and that's just gonna be the token header. So let's do token underscore header. And this is going to be just bearer, and I'm going to explain what that is in a minute. So bearer in front of the token means that whoever gives me this token, I don't have to do any further verification. I can just take that token and then work with it from there. So public. So that's what that means. So whenever I generate the token, I'm going to put this bearer, there in front of it. So that means that whoever has this token, they can just give it to me, and I can just make sure it's verified. I don't have to do any further check to see, to see how they got the token. The bearer means they have, like ownership of it. Like it's good. They have it. It's theirs. I should just take it and without any question. Like I shouldn't do any further checks to see to determine how they got it. That's what the bearer means. So and you'll see how this plays out once I start, building it, and I'm connecting all the dots together. The next constant that I need is going to be the actual token header. So when the request comes in, they log in with their credential. I check the credentials, I make sure they're correct, so they log in successfully, and then in the response that I send back to the user, I actually give him the actual token. But that token is going to be in the header. The JWT token is going to be served to them in the header. So I'm going to create another string, and that's just going to be a custom header, which you can always do, and I'm just going to show you how to do that now. So that is going to be the JWT token header. So we can just call it JWT token underscore header, and let's just set this to JWT I think dash header. Let's do not header, let's do token. So if you look at different existing headers, you will see that they start with an uppercase and then lowercase, and then if it's a two-word kind of token, it's separated by a dash. And that's why, so I'm trying to like stick to the convention. So I'm creating my actual, custom header. That's just the name of the variable, but that's what's gonna be in the header and the request, this string right here. And you'll see, I'll go back and I'll show you, here's our actual custom header, and we're passing in the token into that header. Next one is going to be some other string that I know I'm gonna need. So public, I know there's a way, by the way, to just do public static final, like you do when you're trying to print, like there's like a shortcut for it. I just don't know it. For the longest time I've been using Eclipse, and I just started using IntelliJ like full time. Like I just put Eclipse on the side and I've just been using IntelliJ, so I don't really know all the shortcuts yet, but I will. So public static final, and that's gonna be another string, and I'm just gonna be calling this token cannot be verified. So those are like some other string that I'm gonna need. Be verified, and I'm just gonna set it equal to the same string. So whenever I'm trying to decipher the token, if I can't, that means the token has been tampered with. I'm just gonna give him this message. I don't think this needs to be lowercase or uppercase. The next one is going to be I think that's gonna be the issuer of the token. So for instance, if you get a token from Facebook, you'll say Facebook and things like that. So let's define another string, and that's just going to be get raise, because we are the company sending the actual token. So let's just do, so whenever the token is issued, once you try to decipher the token, you will see all of this information. So you can see, hey, this was provided by Google or by Amazon or whatever. Next one is going to be the audience. Like this token is issued, but it's issued for what audience, like what kind of people. Like you can have a one for like administrator or specific users, for like finance and things like that. So you can also check on that as well if you want to do some extra security. So if the token comes in, you want to make sure they're coming from the right audience, and you can check on that as well. That's just so many things you can check to validate the token. Beside, of course, deciphering it, make sure it wasn't tampered with. So all of those are optionals. You don't necessarily have to provide all of this information, but I just want to give you a very clean overview of the capabilities of what you can do. So let's do get arrays administration. Let's say this is for administration, and we're gonna set that equal to the same string. Or since this is gonna be used by like a user management portal, so we can just do user management portal. Okay, something like that. Really that comes down to whatever you prefer or whatever you want to do. Another one we're gonna need, let me do public static final. I think, yeah, there it is. That's how it's easy. Let's do string, and let's do authorities, because I'm gonna need that, and you will see when I use that. And let's just call it authorities. And the next one that I need, public static final. Yay. Next one that I need is a forbidden message. So if, for instance, they provide a token, but they don't they're forbidden to access the resource, I can just use this string to send them a message. So it's the string forbidden message. And I can say something like you need to log in to access this page, something like that. So just a message to the user that we're gonna send back if they're forbidden to access a specific resource. And next one, oops, public static final. What if I do S? Oh, cool. IntelliJ is really smart. Let's do another one for access denied. And this is going to be if they don't have access to access a resource. So that's gonna be access denied message. So if they don't have access to something, we can just pass in this message. So let's do something like you do not have permission to access this page, something like that. You can change this message to whatever you want, as long as it has something to do with accessing, because this is an access denied message, but you can change the verbiage if you want. Let's do another one for options. So public static final string. Yay. So let's do options HTTP method. So the reason I'm defining this one is because if the request method is option, like it's not get or post or anything like that, if it's option, I'm not gonna take anything. I'm not gonna take any action. I'm just gonna let it go through because I'm gonna explain why you should never, well, not never, but in this specific context, you don't stop the options, because the option will is the request that comes in to check to see what the server will accept or not. I'm gonna explain that more once I start using all of those variables. So lastly, we need public static final string, and that's gonna be the public URLs, and that's gonna be an array of strings. So let me put a bracket, and let's do public underscore URLs. So the public URLs, they're just going to be all the URLs that I'm gonna allow to be accessed without any security, and that's going to be like user, lowercase user login, right? Because we don't want to block the login, since that's how they actually have that's how they come to the application to actually get their credentials, not credentials, to get their token. We don't want to block the actual login page, and also we don't want to block the register. So the user register, we're not gonna block that either. So we're gonna leave this open. We're also gonna leave open. Let's do user reset password, and I'm gonna put two stars. So if they want to reset their password, we're gonna send them to this. And the reason I have 2* after the last / is because they're gonna go to this URL, and then here they're gonna be able to pass like myemail.com at something.com. So I have to say, hey, anything after this is acceptable. So any email, which I don't know what their emails are going to be, so I just put the 2*. Mean anything after that, anything from this and whatever comes after that, I'm also going to allow. It's going to be part of the public URLs array. And I also want to not stop the images of the users, so that when I fetch them, I don't have to provide any security. So I'm going to do /user /image and /*. Okay, so those are just I didn't really have to define all those constant. I just think it's cleaner, and you'll see when you do centralize your the different components of your application, it's a lot better, it's cleaner, and people can understand it better, and you have like one centralized like way to combine or put information that belongs together in the same place, and that's always good practice. So I define all of those variables so that I can use them in the actual provider that I'm gonna use. And once I start using it, then you'll understand. It all makes sense. But for now, just know that the expiration time is what we're gonna use to set the expiration time on the token. That's gonna be the token header. Actually, that's not the token header. That's the token prefix. Prefix. So that's the token prefix. That's gonna be, this bare space is going to be in front of the actual JW token. And I already explained that means that I don't have to do any further check for that token if someone try to log in with or try to access my application with that token. As long as they have the token, that should be fine. I should just take that token and then process it and make sure it wasn't tampered with or anything like that. I don't have to do any further check or anything like that. And this is our default or custom header, like HTTP header, that we're gonna use to attach the actual token to the header. And you will see how this is gonna be used very soon. So that's the message that I'm gonna send them when I can't verify the token, and these two are going to be the actual what gives you the token and what audience is for. So what gives you the audience is probably going to be the name of your company. That's why I put get a raise here. And then that's going to be the audience, which is going to be what application or who are going to be using that token. And this is, I guess this is supposed to be lowercase. So this is going to be all the authorities I'm gonna pass into the user. I'm gonna attach them to this string, and you will see that. So this string is gonna hold all of the authorities of the user, and those are just messages that I'm gonna send back. I'm gonna use if they don't have access or if they're forbidden to some resource. And this is the HTTP option method. I just don't want to type it in and out, so I just put it in a constant, but you didn't have to do that. And these are all of our public URLs, meaning URLs that we're gonna allow a user to access without being authenticated. We're just gonna leave those open to the world because of course they need to be able to access the login page. We're not gonna say, hey, you need to be logged in to access the login page. That doesn't make any sense. Or the register page, which is why I defined them here. So once I start using this in the actual token provider, then you'll see it all makes sense from there.